The rebirth of Seoul as the capital of Joseon. The emergence of the tradition of making Gimjang kimchi. The population of professional farmers in Seoul these days accounts for some 0.1%, or roughly 10,000. They are distributed mostly in areas rather remote from downtown Seoul, such as Dobong-gu, Gangseok-gu, and Seocho-gu. Even in the Joseon period, professional farmers were rarely found in Seoul, as the majority of the population in the city was comprised of literati, government officials, merchants, handicraftsmen, and government slaves. In fact, government slaves outnumbered farmers in Seoul. In the Joseon period, the area within 10 li, roughly 24 miles from the fortress in all directions, was referred to as Seongjo-simri and considered part of Seoul. Seongjo-simri stretched from present-day Dongdaemun to Cheongnam-mi to the east, from Seodaemun to the Bulgwangcheon stream to the west, and from Namsan Mountain to Yongsan and Mapo to the south. Northern Seoul was not inhabited by people as the region was too steep for people to live. Seongjo-simri were occupied by farmers who cultivated a variety of vegetables for people living within Hanyang-dosong. Vegetables were a staple food in the Joseon period. Since meats such as beef, chicken, and pork were available only for wealthy people, vegetables were the foods common people had easy access to. Most people sustained themselves by growing vegetables in their yards. However, the royal court, the government offices, and those who did not own their own yards had no choice but to buy vegetables. The royal court consumed a large amount of vegetables as well. In order to meet the demand, the government had seasonal vegetables sent to the palace from all over the nation. Since it took quite a long time to transport vegetables from the country to the capital, farmers uprooted young vegetables and sent them to the royal palace in order to keep the vegetables fresh. Park Ji-won, a Shilhak practical learning scholar at the end of the Joseon period, wrote in the collection of his works entitled Yeonamjip that radishes were from Wangsimri, turnips from Salgojidari, cucumbers and watermelons from Seokyo, peppers and scallions from Yeonhigung, and taros from Itaewon. The preparation of Gimjang kimchi, salted Chinese cabbages mixed with red peppers and stored in large pots in early winter, emerged in the 18th century when Chinese cabbage was introduced to Korea around that time. Radishes were grown in the Dongdaemun-gu and Seongdong-gu area, Japanese parsleys and taros in the Yongsan-gu area, and peppers and scallions in the Seodaemun-gu area. These vegetables were sold to small-scale merchants, who then sold them to individuals or vegetable markets inside the fortress wall. According to a book on Hansong and its history entitled Hangyong-jirak and written in the mid-19th century, the vegetable markets in Jongnu and Chilpae deal with various vegetables. Radishes produced in Wangsimri, Jeonggotpyeong, cabbages in the Dongdaemun area, and Japanese parsley in the Namdaemun area are the best. These accounts consistently mention specific vegetables produced in specific regions, proving that vegetables were grown in Seoul and sold at vegetable markets in Jongno and Chilpae. New kinds of vegetables were introduced to Korea at the end of the Joseon period, transforming food culture in Korea in a significant way. For instance, before the introduction of Chinese cabbage to Korea at the end of the Joseon dynasty, Koreans ate salted loose-leaf cabbage and radishes seasoned with garlic and other seasonings. With the import of Chinese cabbage from China in the 18th century, however, kimchi seasoned with spicy pepper powder as it is known now appeared, and the tradition of preparing kimchi in early winter developed. In addition, other vegetables such as corn, squash, tomato, sweet potato, and potato were all introduced to Korea at the end of the Joseon period, and became popular. They were widely grown for consumption during the period of the spring shortage of food.